Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Frel, your professor. Hello class, good morning. Our last topic for this term is the need for change of the educational system. The question is it to be now or it has to be later? First, we have to create a change climate. So for a change program to be successful and sustainable, there must be a reason, a compelling reason for that particular change. Another is a clear vision of the future that you want to achieve. And third is a coherent plan for you to get there on that vision. Now let's distinguish these three terms. When we say vision, this is your declaration that the schools or other educational organizations use to describe their high-level goals for their future, or what they hope to achieve if they successfully fulfill their organizational purpose or their mission. When we say plan, that is their scheme or the method of making or doing something or achieving an end. So when we make a plan, it is used when we use some kind of thinking beforehand. And of course, your very reason why we need to do that change. Now class, do you know how and why educational system was being created? There might be different reasons why educational system was created. However, said reasons might be similar or different to what we need today in this system. So let's look at the competencies in the 19th century. When we say competency, this is the capability to apply or to use a set of related knowledge, skills, and abilities required to successfully perform critical work functions or tasks as defined in a work setting. So these competencies often serve as the basis for the skill standards that specify the level of knowledge or the skills and the abilities these are being required for the success in the workplace, as well as the potential measurement criteria for assessing the attainment of the competency. And these are the competencies which are being developed in the 19th century educational system, such as that of loyalty, that of discipline, obedience, and respect for hierarchy. And of course, we are not allowed to think, but we just do it. We just follow the rules. And the term copy-paste was also included. This refers to some popular or simple method of reproducing text from some source or destination. In short, we just copy and follow what was being laid down or given to us in the system. Now let's look class at the effect of mass education system as an effect of the transmission education. So this mass education system is an invention of the early industrial revolution, which is thought of as a means of control. The people who designed this system had that goal of distributing trained workers to right positions at the right time and the right place. However, in doing so, they can also maintain a society that aims for the best productivity they could achieve. And of course, when we say transmission, this is the process by which information, by which knowledge, ideas, and skills are being taught, no, to others, no, through purposeful, no, conscious telling or demonstration, or it might be in a form of guidance. Now let's look at how education has affected, no, throughout the years. So can you see if classes have changed since 1806? No? So because in 1806 the methodology of schooling was introduced in New York, no, where a large number of students could be educated at a low cost, no. This method was called the Lancastrian methodology. Again, class is the Lancastrian methodology. This so the monitors of these groups now would teach skills such as writing, and the students would use a sandbox in their desks to practice, the alphabet. Now look class, the schools in 1876, no? It is being said that schools were not free until 1891. Up until then, children had to pay to go to school, no? This was actually true in England, no, during the reign of Queen Victoria, where they brought many improvements to the education of children, especially for the poor children. While in 1975, books, paper, and pencil or pen, no, are already being used, and pupils have to raise their hands, no, to answer the questions of the teacher. While in 2014, we still have that paper and pencil test, and exam are individualized. If you observe, if you can see in the slide class, no, of what is written on the board, and what the professor is saying compared to what the students see, and what the students understand, and what will be asked when the test comes. So as if the teacher have written something on the board, but he sees different thing, and also the students see different thing also compared to what was being actually written, and as if the student do not understand a thing of what the teacher, have written on a board. But when it comes to the examination are being given differently of what was being taught. So do you think, class, we need to have change in this system? So now we live in the 21st century, and of course we have different realities in the classroom and different expectation. But before we discuss those, class, I would like to introduce a short discussion on the waves of human civilization, where we have the agrarian revolution, the industrial revolution, and the information revolution, no? So during the agrarian revolution, of course, everybody produced, the food that they take. But only during the industrial revolution, where the mass education system was introduced, no? So this mass education system, class, has paved the way for the expansion of mass media, no? Where books, newspapers, movies, radio, and television were being used, no, to reinforce cultural values, no, of families, nuclear families, and smaller family sizes. However, during the information revolution, actually the economy is based on the knowledge. This is a period of change that might prove no, significant to the lives of the people, no, because computer technology is at the root of this the root of course of this change in the advancement in the technology ensure that this revolution would touch the lives of all people. And as you can observe, class, as if the main feature of the information revolution is the growing economic, social, and technological role of information. Because of the information revolution, we have this internet minute, no? So what happens in an internet minute? This refers to a brief look at what happens around the world within a space of just 60 seconds or less, no, on the World Wide Web. So this internet minute takes account on, of course, the social media platforms and other internet access services that you are very familiar with. But of course, class, another term that was introduced in this information age is the term globalization, which is being used now to describe the growing interdependence of the world's economies, cultures, and population as brought about by cross-border trade in goods and services, of technology, and of flows of investment, of people, and information. So now, class, let us look also at what competencies are expected by employers to be possessed by students when they enter the workplace. So in here, class, I just included a few which are being suggested by researchers to have of great importance, no, to employers, no, in the current times. We have competencies on responsibility, of openness for change, of teamwork, and solving problems, of being flexible, and critical thinkers, no, initiative, creativity, and those that work with projects, no, and of course those that follow rules in the workplace. Now let's see, class, if these competencies are being provided already by schools now today. So my question is, which of these competencies are developed systematically at your school or at the university? No, we have you are of course today part of the generation Z, no, or the new generation. So I know you are aware of this generation, no, of people that starts with the baby boomers. Those were being born between 1946 and 1964, which we can count, if we try to count, they are more or less 57 to 75 years old. And followed by the generation X, no, those which were being born between 1965 and 1979 to 1980, and the generation Y, or the millennials, no, we call them the millennials, those which were being born between 1981 and 1994 to 1996, and of course they are being followed by the generation Z, no, or the Z generation. That's the newest generation, born between 1997 to 2012 to 2015. Okay, and of course to be when I say millennial, no, I mentioned that earlier, this being referred to, no, to both the segments of the generation Y. So since you belong to the generation G, class, Now let's identify who are these students, no, who are they. So they are the one who are growing up in the time of uncertainty, no, those the time or the post 9/11 world with economic recession, no, and also those who are growing under changing norms where there was increased racial diversity, shifting gender roles. Okay, so it is being said that the generation Z is mature, self-directed, and a resourceful individuals. Another class is that generation Z are adept researchers, no, they know how to self-educate and find information. So based on research, no, 33% of them watch lessons online, 20% of them read textbooks on their tablets, 32% work with classmates online, and 52% use YouTube or social media for typical research assignments. So, are you this or do you possess these characteristics, class? And one thing more, the Generation Z communicate with images, they create things, they are future focused, they are realist, and they want to work for success. So that's why, class, your professors are really trying their best to at least re- prepare activities for you that will suit your characteristics. So class, now I would like to emphasize this quotation, no, from this quote, no, from Mark Prensky in his book Teaching Digital Natives, that according to him, the students in our classrooms are changing largely as a result of their outside of school experiences with technology, and they are no longer satisfied with an education that doesn't immediately address the real world in which they live. I don't know, class, if you will agree with this quote from Mark Prensky. As if, class, is gone with the times when the school is taken similar with that of a prison, where there is authoritarian structure in the classroom. Especially there was a dress code, meaning we have to wear uniforms, and that students have to keep silence, and there should always be order in the classroom. It was really actually being emphasized that you have to keep silence, no, and a negative reinforcement that once you commit mistakes, you have to be penalized, and you always walk in lines when you enter the classroom or when you go out of the room in groups, no, you always walk in lines. And the loss of individual autonomy, because you are being treated equally, no, in all the activities, or in dealing with you, are always being taken as a group. And of course, your abridged freedom, no, you are always being curtailed, not to do this, not to do that, not to eat this, not to talk in this manner, in something like that, class. And usually there is no input in decision making, because it's the teacher who decides what is best for the class. And a set time was being enforced, time to walk out, time to stand, time to sit, time to eat, and everything that goes with it, class. Okay, so I with this new normal in the educational system, it is timely, no, to create a changed climate, and we have to start with the vision. So since students of the 21st century are very aware of the technology, they are independent, they can stand on their own, and they think critically, and they can also serve as partners of the teacher. And of course they are proactive, no, they they prefer to do with others, no, to do some teamwork, no, they are responsible, no, and they are very aware of their emotions, no, and they know how to define their plans. So we have to create a vision that will invoke some climate of change, no, in the classroom. I included here, class, the 7 survival skills by Tony Warner, no, in his book The Global Achievement Gap. The first skill is the critical thinking and problem solving skills of the 21st century learner. When we say critical thinking, that is your ability to think clearly and rationally, understanding the logical connection between ideas, no, that for this work is no longer defined by your specialty, but it is being defined by the task or the problem you and your team are trying to solve, or the end goal of that you wish to accomplish. Then another is that because of technology, it has allowed students now to work in virtual teams. So that results to the second skill, the collaboration skills across networks, no, due to the influence of technology. The third skill is agility and adaptability. This is because today jobs require people to think at a fast pace, no, and be able to change role or position at any moment, no. In today's schools, a teacher wants a student to answer questions quickly, no, while they are giving deeper explanation of what was being asked. Then the fourth one is initiative and entrepreneurship, no. This means once students have an understanding of the content, and they can now utilize that content on their own, no. Teachers need to give students the freedom to take responsibility for their own learning opportunities. And this will provide also students with the drive to achieve things that they have come up with. Next skill class is effective oral and written communication. So because of the direction communication is moving, no, whether local, national, or global level, employers now are seeking job candidates with exceptional writing skills, no. So as you can see, no, web pages become the fastest way to find information, and emails and social networking become the primary path of communication. So writing skills are becoming more important now, class. So not only are the basic skills necessary, but to captivate also an audience, which is important for job candidates to be able to effectively express their views, no. The reason why, you know, when you post your blogs, or you upload your blogs, or you post your comments, you always check, no, we always check our grammar, the way we write it, the way we express our ideas, with the intention of catching or captivating an audience that will be satisfied with what we are writing. Okay, then the sixth one class is accessing and analyzing information. So by this class, students need to understand and deal with the flow of information, and of course how globalization has created information overload, no? So there is so much information available that is almost too much, in if people aren't prepared to process the information effectively, then it almost freezes them in their steps. Okay, and the last is curiosity and imagination. So this last skill is a nice conclusion, to the 7 skills, because as all these skills are necessary and connected, curiosity and imagination are qualities that enhance the educational experience and will prepare the students, you are students, for the career path ahead of you. Sabi nga, once a Chinese proverb is being given to us, or this goes like this: he who learns but does not think is lost. Now class is how to create a change climate through our plan, meaning how to make the change. One, of course, is change of the teacher's role. So for changing the globalizing world, the role of the teachers is essential to improve the sustainable education. But at the same time, class, inspiring and guiding the students, and increasing employability skills with the digital tools is also prerequisite for a teacher. So teachers have to be digitally inclined also, class. And of course, the responsibility for learning now is on the student's shoulder. Another class is a plan for teacher as responsible for creating a special environment. So when we say learning environment, class, this should be supported by a positive, instructionally focused school climate that provide intellectually and emotionally safety to students, an environment engaging classroom communities that are personalized and co-constructed by the students, of course, and the adult support, and the adults, such as the teacher and other school personnel, to support the success of the learners. Third is, it should be student-centered. So teacher's role is to encourage student-centered learning by allowing students to share in decisions and believing in their capacity to lead, and remembering how it feels for them to learn. Then another is that teacher as a trainer. He is someone who inspires the students to learn. They develop the students' personal, academic, and social abilities in order to make sure that the student take responsibility to help them develop themselves. Another is for the teacher to give the students the tools. So with this information age, hundreds of digital education tools have been created with the purpose of giving autonomy to the students, improving the administration of academic processes, and encouraging collaboration among teacher and students, and facilitating communication between the teachers and the learners. And the class, I also added some trends in innovative education. We have, as you can see on the slide, from mass education, today we have the individual education. From education closed into levels, now we have education to lifelong learning process. From a model where school provides information, today we have school, which is the place of creation of a new knowledge. From educating teachers of academic subjects to preparing experts of learning. By looking at the learning pyramid, then you will see that a lecturer no longer contribute to the retention rates of the students. But reading still provides 10% of the retention rates. Audiovisual, 20%. Demonstration, 30%. Discussion, 50%. Practice by doing, 75%. And by teaching others, 90%. And another class is from class subject model, which focuses on the content of the curriculum or focus on textbook written for specific subject, to hybrid education that connects all available models. So this hybrid education is a teaching and learning model that meets the needs of the students, teachers, and staff with integrated educational technology tools that address blended learning. So you can see also that on the slide class. Professional development, staff support, the learning gap, social emotional learning, flexible scheduling, and attendance. Then class, we have from traditional didactic to edutainment. When we say this didactic method of teaching, this is where the teacher gives instructions to the students, and the students are mostly passive learners or listeners. It is the teacher-centered method of teaching and is content-oriented. So neither the content nor the knowledge of the teacher is being questioned. Okay? While this edutainment, this is what we are doing today, class, This combines the words education and entertainment, So it refers to any form of entertainment that is educational. The purpose, of course, of this edutainment is to make the learning enjoyable and fun to the learners. Then we have class from teaching subjects to develop skills, and from hierarchy management to teamwork, or what we call flat organization. When we say hierarchical management, this is a workplace where there is a structure in which authority is assigned in ranks, and employees take direction from their superiors. So in the case of the classroom, it is the teacher that has the authority, and the students just take the directions from their teachers. While in a flat organization, or also called a horizontal organization, this is where there is only few or sometimes no levels of management between the superior and the staff, or that of the staff and the executives. Everybody work as a team, and this is also being as taken in the classroom. This is where teachers and students work as a team, or they collaborate for the success of learning. Okay, so that would be all, class, for this topic. And for your activity, you are born and educated under the traditional system of education. As millennials, educational changes have been introduced to you. So, given the circumstances under the new normal, what educational changes that you prefer to experience? Discuss your choice with some basis. Okay, so just submit your output in the Google Classroom. Again, this is your professor saying thank you and good day.